Welcome back to my series on retirement rules of thumb. We've already covered the rule of 72 and the 4% rule, and today we're going to cover what I call the 70% rule, which is 70% of pre-retirement income. And there's a nice rule of thumb that says that's what you need to count on, to live on. You need to plan on spending 70 or living on 70% of your pre-retirement income. And while that may be true, there are some other factors to consider that could change that number for you. So say you were making big contributions to your 401k or other retirement plan. Well, obviously you're not going to be making those while you're retired, so that might change the pre-retirement income number for you, and it might factor that down a little bit, so you don't need as much because you're not putting that money away. You might have a different tax situation. Now that could be higher or lower depending on how you are living in retirement. So you'll need to kind of be flexible there, but it could be either way. So that could change the number. You could have some different expectations about your lifestyle in retirement. Maybe you plan on traveling a lot, or maybe your plan is to play golf every day and you're already a member at a golf course, and so it's not going to change the number too much. Trying to have a goal, a plan there will help figure out if that 70% number is right. And maybe you had work-related expenses. Maybe you had a really long commute that wasn't reimbursed by your company, but it was expensive. You spent a lot in gas money, a lot of wear and tear on your car, things like that. So you need to kind of factor that in as well, as along with a myriad of other factors that could make that different. So while 70% is probably a decent rule to kind of look at, it's not going to be accurate. So you're going to have to figure out as you go what your actual number is. So come back next week for the final part of my series where I talk about 100 minus your age.